Today we're going to be watching a movie, or I'm going to be watching a movie. If you don't know what movie I'm watching Lesbian Space Princess. Is my camera? Oh, it's right here. Hello. Point is, we're going to be watching this film, and we're going to review it right now. Right now. So I just finished the film. Not really. I watched the film, tried to doing a couple of takes, wasn't really happy with my results, and now I'm here doing another take. Hopefully this will be the last. So, Lesbian Space Princess. What do I think of this film? I think it's bad. It's a bad film, but I think it's got a couple of the good things about it, but overall it's not really a good film. Surprisingly, I think despite how much the internet hates it right now, it does one or two things right. And by that I think one is the film and another is some of the humor inside of it. But let me explain myself first before all the Instagrammers, the people from Instagram go justice once. I mean, I am on the hate train. I think this is a really bad film overall. It's a stupid mistake that Netflix decided to kill Captain Underpants, the TV show, on their platform for this movie. Let's start with the plot of the movie. If you don't want to get spoiled, then I'd probably click off now, but you probably can't hear for that reason. So, Syra is the space princess of, well, I'm not going to say the word, because it is a really, it's an inappropriate word. It's related to a woman's body parts. Yeah. So, Syra is the daughter of these two, what I think it was like princesses, queens. I can't remember what they were. She has never been able to make she hasn't never been able to keep a good relationship, except until 2 weeks ago, from when the movie starts, where she meets this one lady. We were gonna call her Gary, cause I forgot her name. No, was it? I think it was Kira. We're going to call her Kira instead. I think Kira was her name. But anyways. So Kira and Syra have been dating for 2 weeks. Because, well, I guess Kira saw something in Syra or something. I'm not too sure. No, it was Kiki or something. It was Kiki. Kiki breaks up with Syra after not being satisfied with their relationship and leaves to go do some other stuff. And this is on Syra's birthday, her 23rd birthday. And after they break up, Syra tries to manifest her axe thing. I forgot what it was, what they called it. After failing, she goes back to her room, dissatisfied and utterly depressed that she was broken up with. She failed to summon her axe and is now going to be lonely in the school dance. We cut to Kiki doing this action scene and then has sex with 3 other ladies. Which, it honestly hurts me to say that, honestly. I really wish that was not part of the film. This film has some very pornographic stuff, and I feel like this shouldn't have been like a film in the theaters. If it's gonna have like women parts like showing, and a literal living penis. I'm so glad my roommate is not here right now to hear me say this. These things come in and kill all the women except for Kiki, which then it does a really smooth transition into her hanging above a large tub of acid, where we are introduce to the villains of this movie. Ooh. The straight white malians. So, the straight white malians throughout the movie give us a little details onto what they are. I'm very glad they give us some context. They reveal that they don't get women. They are awfully lonely. And they try making their own chick magnets to attract ladies to them. After their first prototype failed because of so many chickens, I guess. They get one off of the internet, made from Sweden, I guess. But this one's a stupid one because apparently it requires Syra's axe to power it, which is a weird, which is really weird because why would you need that? They literally imply that they don't know why. It's such a stupid idea. But then, so they decided why not use the princess's girlfriend as baits, and then Kiki reveals that she broke up. I think. I'm not too sure. Point is, Syra's dad still obsessed with Kiki, and so the straight white malians make use of this and they blackmail her, Syra, into bringing her axe to their lair in the most evil and dangerous part of the universe. I kid you not, that's what it's called. Finds this ship bay and stumbles into a ship that is from the 21st century, used to belong to straight people, and leave the gay bubble that protects the gay verse. The ship runs low on battery, and ends up on this ship, on this planet where it's, the fuel source is ironically at, which is this moon crystal thing. Syra puts herself up to go find this fuel source because she really wants to see her girlfriend again, or her ex. So after falling into this hole, Syra finds this crystal and also finds this emo girl, which we're gonna call Miss Emo. We're gonna call her Miss Emo because I forgot her name too. Yeah, after removing the moon crystal, which is the name of the fuel source, the cave starts to overflow with this gum substance. And after losing the crystal, they end up in front of the ship and just realize there was a crystal right next to the ship. And then they leave. Syra and Miss Emo get to know each other a bit. And this part I want you to remember specifically. This part, where is it? It's right, you're right there. This part I want you to remember this part for just in 5 minutes from now. Syra tells Miss Emo that she has an ex she's trying to save. Syra tells Miss Emo that she's trying to save her ex from these straight white malians. And so, yeah, Syra tells Miss Emo that she's trying to get to this place to meet this person who will help her summon this axe to give it to the alien so that she can get her axe back. Miss Emo takes Syra to the club, which is I think right after this part. So they end up at the club. Syra loses Miss Emo for a bit, and then finds Blade, who is the person who Syra leaves to go find to help her with conjuring the axe. And after entering a side room, they Miss Blade teaches Syra on how to conjure the axe, and this leads into this really probably the best scene in the movie, probably the most well written overall. Into this it leads us into this scene where Syra's going through her mental being, her probably in her head right now. So for added context throughout the film, Syra is fighting these demons, and is trying to fight her anxiety. And this part really puts a cap on that. Blade tells Syra that she needs to fight her, I believe, her anxiety and stuff like that. Get into the right mindset to summon this axe. And Syra goes into her. So Syra goes into her mind, into her head, I believe, and goes into this deep part of her consciousness where she's she's looking at some of her memories and like conjurations, whatever you want to say, of like parts of her past and stuff like that, of everything she knows, like essentially, and it's all like influenced by her depression and her anxiety, saying that she'll never be enough. And I feel like this part of the film, it really explains what it's trying to make aware of really well, because depression is a really dangerous thing. It's a real sick disease that really can have an effect on that part of your mind, where it makes you feel like you're not enough, you're worthless. And I feel like this is a good representation of that, because this is almost exactly what it is. And the music score in this part is really well. It's mysterious, very like eerie, tries to give off that feeling that, hey, you're in your head, and we're trying to make you feel like you're not in a good place right now. You're being threatened by these monsters who want you to be sad and who want you to be in the worst place. They want you essentially in a bad place. Syra works through this dark part of her mind to find that specific sweet spot in her feelings where she can conjure up the X. And after a significant this scene, she eventually develops the axe, and we're right back to this poorly done plot line. Blade seals it, and they get into this fight scene, which is really goofy. And even though, while it's trying to be intense, it really is not intense. It's really goofy, because obviously it's a cartoon. And so Syra ends up fighting Blade with a pineapple. When Miss Emo comes in. And so after pushing Miss Emo away, Syra manages to get Blade down with the pineapple, gets her axe back for a bit. Can't remember what she did because I was skimming through, but she ends up cutting Blade's head off. And so Syra ends up blacking out and ends up back on the ship, I guess. Miss Emo gives her backstory to Syra, explaining that she was once in a band. She didn't like what she was doing, so he went to go on her own to find her inspiration. And she confesses she confesses that she likes Syra and does that song that you've probably seen on the internet already, like 1,000 times. And then the straight white millions call them, asking where the axe is. I can't remember. Miss Emo realizes, wait, is that your ex? It's like, yeah. Why are you trying to save your ex? This is why I reminded you earlier to remember this part. They completely this movie completely dropped a plot point they made earlier just to include this. They did not need to include that part of hey, I'm trying to save my ex. So, and she said earlier, yeah, sure, let's go save your ex. And now she's like, why are we saving your ex? Because I still love her. Maybe we should just be friends. And then she drops off Miss Emo. Cyrus drops off Miss Emo. And we don't see her for the rest of the film. Honestly dumb, which is a dumb way of dropping a character from the film. You could have killed her off or something. It's so dumb. So the point is, after that, Syra gets her confidence and goes to goes to the dangerous place in the universe, and then finds this giant mecha wiener. So they end up on the planet, and Syra eventually gets to the lair of the straight white aliens, saves her ex, and the ex, and Kiki's like, "Oh yeah, oh you saved me. Well, that was interesting. You really came out here all the way to save me. You could have let me die, but you saved me. I'm gonna leave now. Bye." So she leaves, and then Syra fights her demons for one last time. And while the demon is trying to downplay her, trying to make her feel like nothing, Syra's had enough and is like, "No. You're bad. You're bad. You're bad. I don't care about what you got to say for me. I am my own woman. I am independent. I am awesome." And demon, evil, bad thoughts die. And the straight white aliens also managed to use the magnet, which actually kills a lady. And then they realize they can just be gay and have a 3-man kissing sesh.
Don't test my anger, buddy. Buddy, don't get me mad. I'm about to get mad.
Syra ends up leaving, and after Kiki realizes what Syra did, she tries to get a ride with Syra. Syra's like, "No, you ditched me twice. You ditched me twice, lady. I'm not letting you on my shift. You can get your own way. You can get your own way home." And she just says it in this way, which makes Kiki really attracted towards her. So yeah, and then that's the end of the film as the ship and Syra fly away back to gayverse. And yeah, that's the end of the film. What do I say, honestly? I mean, this film does, at least one scene right. I feel like that one scene where Syra's finding anxiety and depression and her bad memories and all that stuff just to conjure up the axe for the first time, I feel like that's the only well-done scene in the movie. That and the scenes where straight white aliens are trying to pass the time and do all this stuff. I feel like their humor is pretty funny, honestly. They're trying to come up with advice to actually date women. They're trying to show Kiki their card game, how to play the card game. Point is, I liked the straight white aliens. I think they were pretty funny. Except for when they kissed each other at the end. That sucked. That was their only con in the movie. I mean, obviously, they're straight white alien. They're straight white. They're white. They're males. Straight white man. Honestly, overall, I'd give this movie a 4. A 4. While I do think the movie is overall really lackluster and does a lot of parts bad, I feel like there are there's 1 or 2 pros. That some scenes, which is just 1 for me, a couple scenes with the aliens and Syra's fight with her emotions were the only couple scenes I personally liked, and the consistent dedication to the overarching scene of hey, I'm trying to save my ex, It didn't really deviate too hard, but I think there's definitely a couple pros and cons to this movie. Starting with the pros, the straight white aliens. I think they were a funny villain for the movie. I feel like a lot of people can relate to them, seeing as their entire like personalities that they're literal nerds. They're literal basement nerds. And I definitely know that there's like a bunch of people who are like that, who are like into like nerdy stuff like D&D and video gaming in their basements. Although I am a little sad that they are like made the villains of the movie. My cons. First of all, the big gahuba, the big grabuba, the big bang. The pacing is horrible. Some scenes are just there to give extra runtime, so this movie could have been put out into the theaters. I feel like this movie, if I'm correct, this movie just barely scratches that surface by a margin. Like, when the ship is leaving the gay bubble, they have this really drawn out scene where the ship's traversing space. These pointless little like bits in the film all make it like just like and completely unnecessary. I feel like it get rid of these like long drawn scenes. I feel like this would have been a really nice short film. And yeah, that's probably like the biggest complaint I have for the movie. Second of all, the representation for like lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, LGBTQ, you know what I mean. I feel like it's not represented that well. I feel like it sticks to one specific ideology, one specific version of the entire thing, where it's like all pastel and pinky and all that, and girly, all that stuff. If you knew like people who were lesbian, gay, and stuff like that in real life, I feel you definitely know that they don't try to be all like girly and all that stuff. Like, I feel not all people who are like that are all girly and all stuff like that. This movie just drives home a certain like part of that community. The most like probably like the textbook example that people think of it as. Overall, the representation in this film is not that well. Anyways, third, I'm going to talk about the art direction. The art direction, it's all over the place. And I admit, I feel like this art style definitely fits the what this movie is trying to be. I feel like the plot really accompanies the art style, and yeah, both aren't really good in my opinion. The art style I'm not really satisfied with the art style in this movie, and that's okay. If the movie wants to take this art style, that's fine. But I feel like the characters aren't. I feel like the art style in this film is just not that good. So throughout the film, the OST is mainly like played with a guitar. Like most of the songs in the OST in this movie are driven with guitar music, like wooden guitar, like the one that goes like "Toxic Gossip Train." Yeah, like that. And because of that, it doesn't give most. It gives most of the scenes of this film like little to no tension. Like when, for example, when Sayra is getting the moon crystal for the ship, and finds this moon crystal, it instead of like what I would possibly prefer is like a eerie music, like eerie and mystical music as she walks close up to it. Instead of that, it's just like, oh, Sayra finds the crystal. Oh, she is drawn towards it. Oh, she likes it. Oh, the crystal, she likes it. She's getting closer to it. What is she doing to the crystal? Why is she eating it? Not what it wins, but like, point is, it's such a bad music choice that literally in the film it's like told to us that Miss Emo was singing it. That's how we're introduced to her. So yeah, what I'm saying is the music direction in this film is not that well. I feel it takes some of the tension out of the movie, which I'm not really happy with. So the last thing I think I'd have to talk about is the character relation. I mean, like the connection to the viewer. I feel like this movie doesn't really do a good job of connecting to the viewer. Like, some of the characters don't feel relatable at all, and I'm really sad about that. Like, for example, what is it? Syra does not. If I was a lesbian person, I don't feel like I'd relate to Syra at all. I feel like Syra is only relatable to a small majority of people, but it tries to be relatable to a larger majority of people. And as you probably could tell, a lot of people who are lesbian, bisexual, trans so far are not in support of this movie, and it is very apparent in that. So yeah, all the characters except for the straight white aliens don't feel relatable. I feel like the people could only relate to the straight white aliens because they feel very exact on who they're based off. So yeah, overall the film doesn't really do a good job of trying to keep it to its plot. I feel like the plot is very poorly done. The characters don't feel relatable. The film direction is poor, is sad. The characters are not cool. They're not fun. Except for the straight white aliens, I think they're the probably funniest character, and the straight ship. And what else? The pacing in this movie is horrible, and yeah, and the representation in this film is not really good. And yeah, I give this movie a 3 out of 10. It's not over, pretty much a poor film, a really bad film. However, there are like 1 or 2 good scenes in the movie that were really stand outs from the rest of the film. And yeah, that's my review of Lesbian Space Princess. Over a really bad film, and not a worthwhile watch, especially with the 1 hour and 32-minute runtime being mostly filler. Anyways, yeah, my name is Glitch Mob, and until next time, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Until next time.